Thank you very much. Wow. Class of 2024 who have gone through the very rigorous IB program. I want to say that today you're joining the global elite. Only about 2.4 million of the 6 billion people that live on earth have an IB diploma. So you have joined the global elite. And what is the good thing about global elite? When you join the 1% of the world, 0.1%, at that point, there is no quota system. At that point, there is no federal character. At that point, there is no IM. At that point, it doesn't matter where you come from. When you join that elite, you join the global workforce. You are universal. You are empowered. You are able to move from one country to the other. The restrictions in the world are for those of us in the bottom 99%. It's not for this 1%. When you have your degrees from MIT, from Georgia Tech, when you have your diplomas from Great Springs, then you have joined that elite. In the UK, if you go to the UK today, there are about, if you are looking at the number of students who have passed through the IB program, one of the interesting data I saw was that 4,850 students graduated took the IB Diploma in 2023. Singapore has about 1,800 students graduating in 2023. And Hong Kong, which historically IB scores are highest between Hong Kong and Singapore, they had over 2,200 students. But Dubai is pushing along and now has over 2,400 students graduating with IB. And in Nigeria, only 2 schools are able to give you IB diplomas in Nigeria. So, the 36 of you who are graduating today, and I'm not sure how many American schools graduating, so less than 100 of you have IB diplomas from Nigeria. Shout out to yourselves. Green Spring Academy has joined the elites of the world. Okay, let me tell you something about joining the elitism of ability. That is the purpose of my Unlock Nigeria, is the elitism of ability. But before we proceed to my key message to you today, I want to seek a favor. I'm a politician, so I'm always looking for favors. If I'm not asking for your votes, I'm asking for your money. But this time, I'm asking that we go back to the national anthem and take the third stanza of that national anthem, so that when you go around the world, you will go with that key message. And that message is the message I want all Nigerians, you young people as you are living, to internalize this message. Can we please stand and take that third stanza? We want to build a nation where no man is oppressed. That is the reason of Nigeria, and that is the purpose of Nigeria. But when I heard the room today, you grew up in a different generation from mine. When you finished from federal government colleges in those days, you were heading to Ibadan, you were heading to Nsukka, you were heading to Ahmadu Bello. That was the news. In one of my uncles in the village. They came to him and said, Linus had just passed to go to University of Ife. My uncle was askance. He's going to Ife? Said yes. So he kept quiet. After a while, he called another of my cousins and said, I thought people said Linus was intelligent. They said yes. So why is he not going to Suka? Those days when you said you were going to America, Nigerians wondered, why are you going to America? Why are you not in Nsukka? But when nations collapse, it is usually imperceptible. It takes about 20 years, 30, before you see the impact of collapse. And that impact of collapse is upon us today. But I charge you, as you go around the world, go like I did. I went to the US, I went to Singapore first. I went to the National University of Singapore. At a time, they were not highly rated. Singapore decided on a world-class aspiration that our university must be in the top 20 universities in the world. And today they are there. And the reason why they are there is because they committed to it, they worked for it, and they are there today. So when I went to the US, to the medicine I finished, I got a job with the ExxonMobil, but I made a request. I said, I want to go back to Nigeria. In 2006-07, there was hope. 2005 and 6, there was hope of a new Nigeria. And many of us that went to school abroad came back home. Now the opportunities are diverse for you. You can work remotely from wherever you are. You can invest in education in Nigeria. You can have an equity company. You can be a neurosurgeon wherever you go. But let me tell you, your major advantage is that you are schooled in Nigeria. You were brought up in Green Springs, in Lekki. You did not go to secondary school in the UK. You went to secondary school in Nigeria. You are first and foremost in Nigeria. And that is why I say to you, wherever you go, just remember that we have made only this one request to God. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And that oppression is that people like you that do not have opportunity to attend Green Springs, people like you that do not have opportunity to go to MIT, to go to UPenn, to go to Swarthmore, to go to Warwick, remember them. Remember that you can't build a country only with the elite, you have to build it with everybody. Remember that your parents are in Nigeria, your cousins, your sisters, your brothers. And remember that it is what we make of our country that will become of us. That no matter what you do in the UK or in the US, you are a visitor. That the only place where you can aspire to the highest positions is in Nigeria. That the only place where you can make changes that will be phenomenal is in Nigeria. If I had worked with the National Highway Safety Board in America, nobody will remember me today. But taking the FRSC Nigeria and turning it into the first ISO 9001 certified organization, making it the best road safety organization in Africa, has secured a space for me in the pantheon of global leaders. So whenever they talk about the road safety in the world, the Pope invited me to the Vatican to join him in writing the Papal encyclical. The World Bank invites me to talk to other countries about how to make their roads safe because I did it in Nigeria. You can do it in Nigeria. I have told two people that there are two Nigerias today. One Nigeria is the Nigerian government, the Nigerian country, where we are doing quota system, where we are doing federal character, where we are moribund, where we are complaining about our universities that you cannot attend. But there is also another nation, and that nation is where you belong, and that is the Niger nation. The Niger nation is that nation that produces movies from Nigeria with iPhones. They're making movies. They've gone far to making for DSTV. The Niger nation is the nation of our musicians. When you enter any store in America, when you get to America, you'll be hearing Nigerian music on radio stations. When you look at Nigeria's fashion, it's gone around the world that everybody knows our Ashrebi. Wherever you go in Nigeria, they will ask you, where is Oju Elewa? One Kenyan asked me, where is Gwagwalada? Because she hears it in Nigerian music. They will ask you those questions. They will say, who is the band, who is Davido, who is Whiskey, who is Flavor. But that is Niger nation. In that nation, there is no federal character. There is no quota system. And that is the nation that Green Spring has put you inside. We are not talking about federal character here. You are not getting admissions because of your father. You didn't get admission because of who your uncle is. You got admission, you got scholarships because the world recognizes elitism of ability, not of parentage. So I want you to remember that what you have gotten today is elitism of ability. When you get in positions, please do not bring your cousins and brothers who do not measure up. Make it possible for others who have ability to climb like you did. I have a few advice for you before I leave the stage. The first one is that I want you to know the virtues that I have come to develop. I call it the Chidoka principles. And I developed it out of my Igbo worldview, out of my Igbo society. I was born in Enugu. I grew up in Enugu. I went to primary school, secondary, university. I finished from UNN before I came to Abuja, before I went across the world looking for knowledge. But my worldview is Nigeria. And the first thing I want to remember is that we have a concept of uche, which is knowledge, intelligence, wisdom. Wherever you go, apply that wisdom, apply that discretion, apply that knowledge that makes us evil. When you meet your friends from India, they will have gone to IITA in India, and they have come to Harvard. When you meet your friends from Singapore, they will have gone to the National University of Singapore, and they are coming to MIT. When you meet them, they are Indians, they are Singaporeans. They will not greet you the way an American will greet you. They will greet you the way a Singaporean will greet his elder, the way an Indian will greet his elder, the way a Korean will be so, the way a Japanese will greet. They are not Americans, they are Japanese, because they are applying uche. They are applying wisdom. They are applying knowledge in what they do. They remember where they are coming from. The second principle is uchu, the concept of hard work, perseverance. Why Nigerians do well abroad? We have a disproportionate number of Nigerians in the Ivy League universities compared to other Africans. Because here, we struggle. We suffer for everything. That struggle is not a bad thing. It is what prepares us for resilience. It is what makes us strong. So wherever you go, the IB has taught you to be diligent and hardworking. Do not let go of the concept of hard work. Always work hard. Hard work pays. What kills is laziness. Hard work does not kill. It is laziness that leads you to poverty. It is not working hard that leads you to damage yourself in a manner that leads you to what all the issues that people complain about today. But if you work hard and if you have uche, you will be resilient. The last one is the fear of God. Character is king. I used to tell a friend, anybody that I will have to sign series of big agreements to do business with, I will not do it. Because you can't make a deal with a bad person. It never works. Please, do not marry a bad person. Do not make friends with bad people. Those people that are constantly undermining the other. Those people that do not see good in anything else anybody else has done. Do not suffer from optimism bias. Don't think that your case will be different. Do not suffer from optimism bias. Most Nigerians think that their case will be different. Who are you? Their case will not be different. Please, make sure that you go along with only people that share your worldview. Character is key. Why Nigeria is failing is because we've elected people without character. Once you have character, you will think about others. The highest form of development in the world is consideration for the other person. When you go onto a toilet and you finish washing your hands or doing whatever you do, you remember to wipe it for the next person coming. That is development. When I entered the gates of Green Springs and I saw the green lawns and I saw the clean environment, that is development. Development is not Gucci. It's not Balenciaga. You can wear it and be an animal. Development is simply consideration for the other person. To think about the other person. So wherever you go, remember the fear of God. I'm happy that all the people that spoke here spoke about God. Just remember the fear of God. Just remember character. Warren Buffett said, and my friend sent it to me last week, that you can never make a deal with a bad person. It will never work. Because they are litigious. They will go to court against you. From the day they are signing the agreement, they are planning to go to court. But you being a good person, you are thinking you are dealing with a good person. Character is king. Any country without men of character will be a country of failure. So wherever you go in life, take your character. There are 3 things I think you must eschew in your life as you go. Again, it is built from my Igbo worldview. Whenever people become rich or successful, the first thing I see in them is the problem of superiority complex. We believe that the only way we can show others that we are bigger than them is by denigrating them, is by showing them locally. We believe that the only way that we have arrived as big men is by blowing the siren and breaking traffic protocols. If you go to, those of you going to the US, or go to the internet, watch the convoy of the President of the United States. The plate number says 46. That's the 46th president. If you look below it, you will see the yearly tag. That is the license fee. It will carry the tag 2025, depending on the year, showing you they have paid the District of Columbia for 2025. They will not drive that car without paying the local laws, without complying with the local rule of license fee. What do we do in Nigeria? The moment you are rich, you remove your license number and cover it with a cloth because I am Osita. So one thing you can learn, and it's a bad manner, do not learn it. Respect for the rules is what makes you who you are. President Trump is facing trial by a district attorney in Georgia. That is, a district attorney in Lekki is charging former President Jonathan. I don't know if you can imagine it. A district attorney in Lekki, in a local government in Lagos. A district attorney is charging a president for violating the rules. That is the power of respect for rules. So wherever you go in life, know that unlike Nigeria, Nkali is something that will bring you shame and disgrace. What our leaders are doing is shameful. That you will see a traffic going on the right, you will run against the traffic. It's disgraceful. Do not invite those characters. It's disgraceful. So wherever you go, please eschew Nkali. The next thing you must eschew is what I call abusive language, destruction of people. That is disrespect of people, which is Nkali. This concept is that we think that the more outspoken you are, the more you abuse others, it means that you are courageous. No, you are not courageous when you abuse others. You are courageous when you make your point in a respectful manner. Wherever you go, remember who you are. Do not join them. You can be angry at a system, you can be upset at a program, but do not join in disrespecting others. So, eschew Nkali. Do not abuse others. The last of them is oppression, which is our prayer. A nation where no man is oppressed. We don't want you to have a cruel and unjust use of power. Because you're going to become powerful people. Once you come out from MIT, from UPenn, from Leeds, you've already joined the world #1. But you are going to join companies, join the ladder. Some of you are going to become, I saw the person said, CEOs, change makers. That's what we want to build. But just remember not to be unjust to other people. Remember to eschew that oppression, that thing to show that you are my house help, you are my nanny, you are my driver. No. My drivers have been with me for 17 years, 18 years, because their job is more important than my own. When I go to function, I say, give my drivers food first, because if I eat first and go, they will not eat. So let them eat first, so that if I come out, we can leave. You must have that consideration for others. So when you do that, then you remember who you are. I will end with a story of a young boy. I'm currently a student, by the way. I'm in the Nigerian law school. I came here because I had made this pledge, and I was looking forward to seeing you people, IB students. I had cancelled all speaking engagements, but we're currently doing our court attachments now. But one Yoruba boy came and met me one day. His name is Shehu, and said he likes me, he wants me to be his mentor, that he watches me in class. So I said, no problem. That I have a mentorship program on Facebook. It's called Mecaria Mentorship. We have about 9,000 people who I mentor remotely. I was trying to do mentorship at scale because I was mentored by a man called Ojo Manekwe, who was Minister of Transport. Most of the things I know today was because Ojo treated me not as a personal assistant, but as a young colleague and friend. So when he was minister, I traveled around the world with him. I ate in restaurants, we sat in the same table, we drove in the same car. So when Ojo died in 2016, I was devastated. By the time I became minister, I became Corps Marshal just 10 years after youth service. I was 35 when I became Corps Marshal. I became minister when I turned 43. Ojo was then an ambassador. He had been Minister of Transport, Secretary of the PDP, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and now Ambassador to Canada, High Commissioner to Canada. When I arrived in Canada as the Minister of Aviation, he came to receive me. Here was his personal assistant of 10 years ago, and here was he now as ambassador coming to receive the minister. I thought that was a hallmark of greatness. I said, Oga, you didn't need to have come. He said, no, you are the minister. I have to receive you. Of course, I was staying in his house. My wife is from his village. It's like family to me. I said, you don't need to escort me to my program. But he gave me a lesson in humility. So when he died, I was devastated. So I said to him, go to Facebook and join my Mecaria mentorship. So the following day, he came back to me and said, sorry sir, I didn't know you were a former minister. I just saw you in class and liked you. I like the way you sit. And blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, that's not important. Just join the mentorship. So one day, I was going for a program, and he said he would go with me to that program, an antenna center program. After the program, I took him back to my house. We had lunch. He's like 23, 24. We had lunch. He was a little uptight. I said, relax. He said he was going back to school. I said, okay, call an Uber. I noticed he hesitated. Maybe he didn't quite have the money to use an Uber. I said, don't worry, I will send you money to pay for the Uber. So I sent him money. When he got the alert, he came to me and said, I'm a Yoruba boy. We prostrate when we greet our elders. But you always prostrate when you greet me. So he went on all fours on ground. I said, stand up. I said, I hope my son will tell somebody someday, I'm an Igbo boy. I'm expected to do this. Because you have just celebrated who you are. You have shown the world who you are. These words that preface to your action. I am a Yoruba boy. I am expected to behave like this. I wrote about it on Facebook and it got almost 1 million views. Because I said, this is the Nigeria we want to build. So wherever you go, tell people, I am a Nigerian. I am a Green Spring graduate. This is how we are expected to behave. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the inspiring speech, Mr Osita Chidoka. Kindly